I mean, I've spent quite a few years going around in-house teams and agencies, you know, basically upskilling and educating their SEO teams.
Mm.
And you're quite right, they just jump in with, straight into keyword research. But times are moving on. I
Mm.
mean, yeah, things are changing. And I think the mentality of SEOs need to progress forward, even though that's what they should have been doing in the first place. I also believe that it's because the SEO team doesn't have direct contact with the client. So they just get told, we've brought this client on, do SEO. I think there's a whole abundance of it, but how do you see that shift in the industry happening, or what needs to happen?
It's a good question. I think it's definitely started in a lot of places. Like I can speak for like first-hand experience of the work that we did at the Era over the last couple of years into the makeup of what is 1225, but also just contacts that I've spoken to is, I think you identified a big part of it there, which is taking out the gap between the SEO team and the client to start with. Like we spent a lot of time at Era trying to get to the point where we had essentially like account managers' role shifted more towards overseeing a strategy and making sure that strategy was executed on, rather than, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, like a switchboard for communication, which can quite often become the case and go, look, you are the SEO on this account. The best person for you to be speaking to now isn't the inside of a keyword database, it's to the client and then it's to the client's clients. So having them work directly, I think, starts to bridge that gap. But I think the second part is, and I think, like you say, you're doing it in your work, is education as to what we are seeing, what Google is pushing us more towards, what people are pushing us more towards, and also bringing back in some essential principles that I think have been not lost, but definitely overlooked over the last 5, 10 years or so. Like I'm hearing more and more people say it now, and I think it is so important, which is people buy from people, people work with people, people interact with people. They don't interact with a screen. And like bringing that people element back into things is so important, but it's so easily overlooked. Like even now, like this is a great conversation, but it's quite possible that we may never meet in person, and that seems absurd. So bringing people back into the world of business, into marketing strategies, into sales and everything, I think is a huge part of that shift that is happening more, but more of it needs to be done.